Hello, Culture Matters podcast. Buckle up. So excited to introduce you to our guest today. Before I do that, here's a quote just for this podcast. Lollapalooza effects can make you rich or they can kill you. Charlie Munger, old partner of Warren Buffett. Our guest today is a regular on the Culture Matters podcast, building dreams, building visions, making people's vision boards into reality. Your broker, builder, host of um, an unbelievable podcast that I actually love being on, local to Marco Island, Naples, Florida, Marco Island, and really nationally, guests of all walks of life. The Real Build podcast. I definitely recommend you go and listen to that after this. And leader of and co-owner of this amazing family business, RK Reiman, I believe in the mid 80s, founded and has done hundreds of custom uh, um, home builds, helping people actualize their visions when it comes to their homes and their dreams. And it feels like almost like this is a commercial at this point. Jeez. I love you, Bill, and it's great to have you on the Culture Runners podcast. I'm so excited to expose our growing audience and friends of Naples area, Greater Naples, Marco Island area, to Lollapalooza. Thanks for coming on the Culture Matters podcast.
Yeah. Excited to be here as always, man. Love you too, brother. And yeah, man, I'm excited for the future of what we got in store here. And you and I have been making connections kind of along the way, and now we're pedal to the metal here. So full force on Lollapalooza, Naples.
I was laughing at myself because I thought exposing the Lollapalooza, but the quote was, "It can make you rich or it can kill you." What does that even mean? And I was looking it up before, like the Lollapalooza concept from Munger, and just like a high level note on it, it was essentially um, he noted that this effect is difficult for academic psychologists to study experimentally because it's complicated to replicate all the converging factors at once. But essentially, the effect arises from the compound effect of several psychological and cognitive tendencies happening at once. It becomes a Lollapalooza. So in the spirit of Lollapalooza, today I wanted to talk to you about because you're a connector. That's one thing I've experienced developing a relationship with you. You're a connector. And I want to unpack like why and how you view connections, the power of community, the power of longevity, like stick because this idea of Lollapalooza, when I think of Berkshire Hathaway culture, longevity, core values, bringing people together. There's these invisible, Nietzsche said, invisible threads are the strongest ties. And that's what I believe that Munger was alluding to, that these powerful forces that are hard to even understand compound and grow over time. And as um, a 30 plus year business that has such strong relationships in the Naples, Marco Island area, you really have a lot, and the successful podcast hosts a lot to speak on from experience around these concepts. So thanks
Mm-mm.
for coming on and exploring this. Now, I want to ask about the connections though. Were you always do you even consider yourself a connector?
No, I mean, I wouldn't say. I think it comes with me. I think it comes naturally. I get my intuition of who would be a great fit with somebody else. I mean, like your and I's relationship, for example. Like, I know I've sent you a few guests that I've had on and I've had hundreds on, and I've probably sent you maybe four or five out of the hundreds I've had on, just because I know for you and your growth and your journey and just what you're doing, within your business. I know these people would kind of be a good a good source for you to kind of keep your business going in the direction with your vision and so on too. So I don't know, man. It's something like when I'm interviewing people, like I listen, I take notes, I'm absorbing what they're saying, and then by the end of it, I'm like, man, this would be a great relationship for somebody else. And I guess I think the podcast has helped with connecting people and making those connections as well. Um, I've connected other people we know with other people too, and I've just seen the power of it as well. I think if we can all work together and
Hmm.
continue to grow, I'm big on growth. I'm big on my friends that I have within my circle and my life growing as well. Uh, I think that's just a powerful thing. I think that's why God put us here, is to help each other in our paths, our walks, all that, and keep pushing us all forward to be the best versions of ourselves.
Well, do you remember the first, like when you, so was this something that's always in hindsight, you always did, or is it in the last handful of years
I,
thinking in that more, is it, yeah.
it's probably something I actually always did unintentionally. I've, growing up, I was an athlete. I probably without even realizing, introducing friends to other friends, stuff like that, or giving resources to people. I've always been good with like being a resource, for people. I get text all the time, every week,
Wow.
for people asking for opinions on things or do I know somebody that could help with this, or do you know somebody? Because I think, which now that I'm talking about it, I guess is a very positive thing because it's a trust thing. When people trust you, they're going to ask your opinion on things. And then there's been times where I don't refer anybody because I don't feel comfortable doing it. I don't have the resources or I haven't worked with them long enough to positively say, this is a good connection I want to make with you. You know what I mean? I'm very cautious in ways, because we've all been there in our lives too, like where we've been connected with somebody and that connection wasn't the best connection. Uh, so
Oh, yeah.
you have to be cautious while you do it too. But I think, I can read. I've been in doing what I'm doing for a while, and my reading on people and my radar on people has improved over time to where you could smell the bullshit. Let's put it that way. And I call it the bullshit meter. And it's like, if it's extreme, not to connect those people. Cause I mean, you and I are going to an event tonight. We're gonna run into people that are full of shit, and we're gonna run into people that are great people. You just can tell, over time by just experience and meeting
How-
people.
Walk me through that because I've always had like I want to help the people. It's
Yeah.
almost like I want to shovel the shit out of the, if I see the shit, I want to shovel it. I want to shovel it like snow removal.
Yeah. I mean, some people.
Hey, I want to help. That's the paradox of empathy. I don't know. I just made that up. I don't know if that's a thing. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, you want to
yeah,
pump the shit. It's
discernment.
like you're like a septic guy. You want to pump the shit out, right?
It's like this. Yeah, so discernment. I mean, yeah, discernment, or how to maybe it's because I there's a level of like when I didn't feel believed in. I'm just thinking out loud, like when my heart or my intention was in the right place. Well, of course, I didn't fully have the knowledge that I have today when I started. My heart and my intention was in the right place. Maybe I give, yeah, I'm seeing the other person for who they could be. But if they're not really there yet, if their heart or their mind, there's not this humility where they could admit to themselves, all right, this is where I'm at, then I could try to help them or give them resources or people or whatever, but they don't even know how to handle it. They don't even know how to accept it. They'll end up taking advantage of. that person and me. And I
Hmm.
think I've made those mistakes throughout my life, my career. And to some degree, I've been that odd man out, you know. Um, I I think about would I have started Culture Matters if I knew as much as I know about culture today? I don't think I would have had the confidence.
Hmm.
Um, so anyway, that's it's yeah, like there's if there's the shit meter. And I have a personal anecdote to share that can make this really practical for everyone. Something I recently experienced that was really tough. So I'll share that. But I'm curious, if there's a shit meter, right? Like, how do we go out? Because everyone networks whether they realize it or not, if that's even the right word to use. And we'll talk about what we've been doing in the Naples, Marco Island area, all the exciting things, because our listeners are either live here or would love to travel to the area.
Hmm.
But yeah, what do you think about that? That was a lot. I mean, I definitely have more of a septic mentality, more temperamentally or um, were you
I
ever
mean,
that way and you feel burned, or was it more of like, no, let me get away from this?
yeah, I mean, I think there's coachable people and there's non-coachable people. I don't think there's some people that just they're stuck in their ways and they think that they got it all figured out and um you can't come in and change them. I've learned that over time too I mean I think we all grow up learning. I was um growing up as a kid, I was a care person. I wanted to fix people. I was a fixer, right? um I had a friend, a best friend that I always wanted to try and fix. And I would keep going and going and going, but I couldn't do it. He kept getting into trouble. He kept
Mm,
doing stupid things. Same thing. I had an ex it was the same thing. I think I stuck with her for the reason I did because I wanted to fix her problems. I wanted to fix her family issues. Also, I ended up marrying this girl, which I shouldn't have, and then ended up getting divorced. But I did that in trying to fix it, finally realizing like
powerful.
this isn't normal. This isn't who I should be with, and I'm never going to change this person, right? And there are people out there that you can help and change and but I've learned over time like how I'm going to help and change people is by being the best version of me. And if I can, you know, continue to push myself, be the best version I can be, get in the best shape I can be. Here's a prime example of that. Like I'm working on my health right now because I've been kind of going through some pain issues, stuff like that, and I know something needs to change. So, I know part of it's probably my diet as far as I'm started keto because I think a lot of my inflammation comes from the chronic pain. Inflammation comes from long story short, but carbohydrates, stuff like that. So I'm going to try something new. But in doing that, like my wife, she's like, I mean, by you doing this is going to be a good example for me. You kind of set that example. Like if I'm strong in my faith, my wife's strong in her faith. The Bible talks about the man of the house being the leader of the family into the church, right? And so if I'm the one that's saying, I don't feel like going to church this Sunday, well, then why should the rest of my family? Because they're going to follow suit. And that goes into kind of everything that I do with my life. Like if I'm slacking with business, or if I'm not trying in fitness, or if I'm not trying in all these other aspects of life, that's going to carry weight with the rest of the family and the rest of the people that I surround myself with too. If I'm a raging boozer and just going crazy and partying all the time, I'm probably going to be around those types of people all the time too, because misery is company. So it's you're going into what you said. I mean, I think there is people, uh, that shit meter is you can probably get it back to a little bit normal, but then there's other people where that bullshit meter is just going to be bullshit for the rest of their lives because that's who they're programmed to be or who they want. They're just you can't change them.
When you were sharing, I I wrote this down. I was more judgmental the less integrated I was.
Mm.
And there, yeah, there, and I was more judgmental than the less integrated. And uh, simultaneously, what I've noticed when bringing people together, judgment, discernment, I feel responsible. So here's an example. Recently, people, all in my life, I invited them around a mission, a cause, and got people together, and went through the uh, intentions of like talking to everyone one by one and putting a lot of energy, making commitments, and people committing to come, and some do, some don't, and but putting all that energy and reputation on the line. And I noticed somebody that I hadn't engaged with in many years. They were there, and how I noticed them, something was not what I recalled,
Mm.
like, of them, and it wasn't positive.
Mm.
And I was trying to process, what to do, because there's a guest that we had on the Culture Matters podcast who I just think is so amazing. His name's Jonathan Haddad. He shared a story about, it was one of his relatives, like, generationally. I believe it was on his mother's side, like maybe mother's grandfather or mother's great grandfather. I don't want to say which one, because if I'm wrong, I don't want to disrespect his lineage. It's been a bit, but this gentleman would protect the village on a horse. This is like a long time ago. Like, at night, he would go out on a horse and do a perimeter around the village in some country far, far away. And he actually sacrificed his life to protect the village. And I was actually thinking about this man when I was in this scenario. Like, I'm the guy on the horse if I got everyone together. And so, and I need to protect the village. And so I thought there how to go about this, because I don't want to say anything amongst the group, because then that could create shame on and shame is
Mhm.
not helpful, really, to people for redemption. And that also would be less scary for me, because I'm among the group, and it's just easier to have that conversation among others. So that's not the right way to do it. And I didn't want to go behind the person's back, around everyone in the group, and say what my fears were, because that didn't sit right in my stomach, because I am, that's my relationship. That seemed a passive. So what I decided on was to set up a meeting with them. And I don't know if there is a right answer, but I'm thinking out loud here. But and I just, asked them, leaned in, just like, what's going on, and then said, can I give you feedback? And just said what I thought. Because this is the thing. I gotta now I'm in this position with the horse and the village, because I put all this energy, and I gotta protect the other people. But I'm concerned about somebody that I've known a long time.
Mhm.
That, this has been many years. Like, are they even the same person? Or have I just changed so much that I'm seeing them differently?
Mm.
Or have I progressed or regressed? I don't even know. I might
Mm.
have regressed thinking I progressed. I may have progressed being, unbeknownst that I have even progressed at all. So anyway, I had the conversation with them before I went to others, and I wanted, what's their level of, do I feel, before I want to share my opinion and then it's, well, who do I tell? Do I reach out, or is it not that serious? Or I just wait if someone asks and then share. So I've tried to follow this integrity of not, shaming among a group, right? And also not passively, you know, without first going to them. And so I went to them, and then if people brought something up, I would share my opinion with respect, like, hey, this is my take. I'm not sure. And then right now, I don't think I'd invite them again, frankly. but based on what I observed
Mm,
without further conversation with them. And maybe I'll invest that time in the future. The relationship matters to me. Like, that'll be on the list of priorities. And just to see, was that me? Was that them? It's a conversation because, you
hmm
know, it's a long-term relationship. So that's a recent practical example of, did I change? Did they change? I didn't like, I was concerned about some things. I have this weight of feeling as though I need to protect the culture because I got people together and they have, if I've been of integrity with all the relationships, they trust me. And
hmm
and that flows to other people,
hmm
whether they earned it or not. And there's so much pressure in that for me if I'm thinking about that. I got to protect the culture. Even if I look like an idiot, I'd rather look like an idiot or like I've overthought it or I don't care, like, than not. So, Jonathan, thank you for the example with the horse. I don't know what episode that. It's like 700 something. He's been on twice, two, three times, I think. But
Well,
super.
you gotta protect your own culture too and your own growth as well. I mean, that's the thing. It's like the more you grow, I mean, maybe you didn't realize that a lot of it is your growth too. I mean, you clearly talk to them, so you realize a lot more than I know. But it's when you have personal growth and you change. I mean, those people over time, unfortunately, if they're not growing with you, they're not gonna stay in that culture, stay within that circle, and that's I think what you're going at with the protection side of things too, man. It's like, um, you know, I've lost, I don't want to say lost to a lot of friends on the way, like they passed away, or I mean, I just don't hang out with a lot of the people I used to, just because of, the growth path that I've been on. It's nothing against them. It's nothing against who they are as people either. I mean, if I see them, I'm still cordial. I'm still nice. I'm just not calling them to hang out because I don't want to be a part of what they're doing in their cultures, right? Or what, if they're at the bar scene or whatever. Um, that's who they've become, drinking every night, eating like crap, whatever. It's just I try and put myself in circles that of people that are going to continue to push me and get better every single day. I mean, that's why you and I are friends. Like we have very good conversations every time we're together. You make me think, and I like that. It's like it's a conversation that it's a thought, it's like it creates thought of what, I should be doing or shouldn't be doing too. And I think there's a lot of value in the conversations with people like yourself, like these conversations too. It's just who I've become, you know what I mean? And it's like, but going back to what you said, yeah, you have to protect the people that you're around. And I think you went about it the right way in that whole conversation. I think not doing it in at the moment, not doing it around with other people, I think that's always the right move because most of the time, us as human beings, we're urged to kind of have those conversations with surrounding people just because we want to talk about it, which leads to things getting worse because it's almost like you're being catty or gossiping or whatever about that particular person. And overall, something might not even be the matter, or they might be going to a family event or something like that. So you just never know. But you definitely went about that the right way, in my opinion.
I wrote this down, like, and I know this should be a part one of the Lollapalooza effect.
Yes.
Everyone, and like you to tell our listeners like what's happening in Naples, your studio, where they can come on the Real Build. We could talk a little bit about the gatherings that we have formally, and I want to pay homage, of course, to the Top Contractor School, which is how we met,
Yeah.
a
Shout out.
community of like-minded individuals in and throughout the United States and other North America, gathering contractors, but small business owners together for all of this to happen, right? Which, if we trace back the lineage, like it goes back to Arate and the 10X world and like all these different cultures that stemmed to here we are talking about what we're doing in Naples.
Hmm.
Naples to top contractor school, Arate, 10X World. The power of immersion and modeling the values what of getting people together has brought us here. Now we're on a podcast talking about it. But I wrote this down. Like I thought the in this example, I think of the public. Let's say if I address the person amongst the group, if that brings them shame, that lowers them to a point where it can be hard to recover. If I do it passively as a person of authority, it's bringing shame to the group. Like it's lowering the trust of the group because now, it's just conjecture. It's just
Hmm.
opinion where we don't have both sides of the argument. It's
Right.
like a judge without a jury, without a defense and a prosecution. You have defense, you have prosecution, and then you have a jury and the judge. If I just go, if I don't, if I just passively go behind the scenes with the jury, they never see the defense or the prosecution.
Hmm.
And that's the judge not being a judge; they're being the arbiter of truth. So being passive, I think, is the inverse of being the person that calls out the person among the group. Like for the small business owner, for the business owners listening, you're in a team meeting and you just call out someone in the
Yeah.
lowest way in front of everybody, criticize in private, public praise. You publicly criticize and you don't praise. So the passive criticize in private with everybody else but the person. I think it undermines trust of the culture. So I didn't want to do that. So the active. So there's public, passive, and active. The active is involves courage and grace and is a challenge because now it's just me and you.
Hmm.
I'm having that conversation with you and it's uncomfortable. I have to listen, but I also have to be willing to get feedback from you,
Hmm. Hmm.
which I actually won't want subconsciously if I'm not living in integrity.
Hmm.
Many leaders, and I've recognized to myself, I don't want, maybe subconsciously, I don't want your opinion of me, so I won't even bring up the tough subject. 'Cause if I bring up a tough subject in you, I better expect it back to me.
Hmm.
So anyway, subconsciously. So that's active. I didn't expect this to turn into some kind of class, but I've been maybe this has been this there's a lot of responsibility in gathering people,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
I don't take it lightly. And I think this is what I wrote down: the public, the passive, and the active communication to protect the culture. So, Bill, what's your take on Lollapalooza? What we're doing in the Naples Marco Island area, or am I even saying that right? You're the local. I keep butchering.
No, you're spot on, man. I think my take in going reflecting on this whole conversation and this whole class we just gave to everybody listening. Um, I think, us being involved in groups that we have, I've been in a few groups, really good groups, top contractor school. I've been in Arte. I'm still in Arte. I'm still in TCS. Great groups too. And I think the experiences in those groups, a lot of great people too. But there's been some others that, come through groups too that aren't the right fit for the culture. And it's hard to distinguish that at the very beginning, but then you kind of figure out as they're in, they're maybe, I don't want to call them a cancer to the group, but they're just not a good fit. And that happens in every single culture, every single group, kind of reflect on what we just said. I think us being around that and being involved in that and doing what we do, I think we can determine who's on the what did I call it earlier, the shit radar or whatever, or
Yeah.
the BS radar, and who's going to be a good fit for the conversations in Lollapalooza and the groups that the community that we're going to create here. We want to get together with good people doing business. I mean, both of our podcasts represent that too. That's kind of what our podcasts are about, is bringing good people with good culture, with good business, with good backgrounds that are doing things the right way. You've introduced me to a few people, and I can speak very highly of them. We talked about Bill Mervin. Shout out to him. He's probably going to be
Oh,
listening to this one. Great guy.
yeah, he's
Help.
been on the show 20,000 times.
Yeah. So shout out to Bill out there. And it's like, but you know, I think with creating that locally here too, where we can get people together and of all demographics of business too, will only make the Naples and Marco Island areas better. In a lot of ways, because it creates that referral network too, to where I talked about it earlier. Like, I don't always refer people because I haven't been around them enough to create the trust and culture with them, right? And this is going to create a referral network of great people and individuals doing business the right way, all communicating with each other, giving business strategies and so on, so we can all grow. And that's the whole purpose of this, is just not only for to meet people and build community, because I think there needs to be more of it. And I know there's stuff in Naples already that is like that. You and I are gonna venture out and check out some of them with our new friend Hector, and
Yeah.
shout out to him.
Shout
And
out to Hector Sanchez, the Culture Matters podcast.
yeah, yep. So we're gonna venture out and do that, start doing that more. But we have an event tonight. We're gonna meet. There's a lot of realtors that are gonna be there. We're gonna meet a lot of good ones. I've met a lot of good ones that are gonna be there. So excited for it. And yeah, man, it's creating that community overall, and just getting around good people and helping each other continue to grow. And I think that's a thing Naples needs to perfect, and I think that's where Lollapalooza and Jay Duran and Bill Reiman come in here, and we make it happen. So excited, man. Very excited.
And it's interesting. I met Hector at a Vistage training. Michael Lasso's been on the show 4 or 5 times, was giving a training. I met Michael Lasso. Eddie Perez been on the show 2 dozen times, who was a member of Vistage, who saw Michael Lasso speak, who hired him. We worked together, Lasso and I, for years with Eddie, his companies. Now I'm sitting in a Vistage watching Michael train next to Hector, who I didn't know he's a stranger. We connect. He's unbelievable. Now you guys are friends. He
Hmm.
lives in Naples, and here we are. The power of people. Right?
Hmm.
6 degrees of Kevin Bacon was, or 7 degrees of Kevin. You ever heard of that? He's been in so many movies. It's like Kevin Bacon, this actor. Some people are listeners. Gen Y wouldn't know, probably. Gen Y, Gen Z, God, Gen Z wouldn't know Kevin Bacon, but he was in so many movies that he was connected to every other actor through 6 actors. We're all
Hmm.
connected. That's the point.
Hmm.
Oh. How can people listen to your podcast?
Just go on iTunes. They're all over YouTube too, if you want to watch them. Watch me talk. But that you can listen on any podcast platform. The Real Build podcast. I think we're on episode 278
Wow. Wow.
now. 278. It's weekly. We've been trying to perfect the live studio. My guy was sick yesterday for the live show, so we did not do a show, unfortunately, because he had the disk drive with him. He was out with the flu, and I couldn't do it myself. So,
Been
unfortunately,
there.
we missed an episode, and I hate missing an episode. It makes me, drives me crazy, and my wife will tell you that too.
Yeah, so don't even tell these people at the show. Let's forget it.
Yeah,
It's over.
exactly. But
How can they get, how can
we're
they
twice
reach
a week.
out to be on it? And then yeah, how do they listen?
Yeah, if you guys are in Naples local, I'd love to have you on if you're a local business owner, or especially in construction, real estate, any of those demographics, finance. I've had insurance on. I've had all different demographics on it so far. It's pretty cool. The studio's a full-on production studio. Like, we didn't cheapen anything. So if you've seen the PBD podcast or any of those, or One Team Media's show or any of those kind of things, it's just built just like that. Come in, I make it super easy, just conversation. I've done a lot of interviews, and everybody that's come in so far, not, pat myself on the shoulder, I guess, has said, wow, this flew by. So that just tells you like the conversations flow, they're real easy. And then you get to sign the wall and be a part of the kind of culture of the real build. And yeah, man, excited to get that going. Excited for you to get your studio going too. And yeah, so if you're local, just hit me up anywhere on social media. And even if you're national too, I'll have you on as well.
Just in closing, why is Naples special?
I think it's special, man, just because of the environment of it. I mean, it's been voted multiple times happiest place in the country. Let's start
Holy,
there. Yeah, so you can look that up. It's rated like the happiest place in the country, and you can tell why. I mean, the weather's perfect. The this time of year, I mean, we're a little cold right now, but it'll be in 77 today by the time it warms up. But it's just quiet, man. It's not, it's a city, but it's not. We don't have the big skyscraper buildings. Everybody's pretty laid back. Yeah, people drive a little bit slow, but you get used to it. And just the environments, man, it's safe too. A lot of people like the safety of it. Same with Marco Island, voted probably top safest areas too in the state of Florida. So, you just can't beat it. Beaches, sunshine, just good people. Everybody's happy. You go to a different city and you get the opposite. So I think that's why it stands out, and I love it. And there's a lot of opportunity here right now.
well, I challenge our listeners, listen to the real build, get connected with Bill as a guest for sure on that queue, and keep listening to the Culture Matters podcast. Well, before you know it, we'll have some type of Naples soiree on the show, all in person.
Yes.
And we're doing big things in the area. In person, virtually, Lollapalooza, making things happen, whether it's three guys at the Capitol Grill or 42 people in South Street, connecting and building culture, community, relationships. Anyway, please share this with a friend and listen to go subscribe to The Real Build. And we'll see you next time on the Culture Matters podcast. Thanks, Bill.
Thank you.